Well, hello everybody. Welcome. Cody here. I'm really excited. We have another episode of the Divine Creators with Cody podcast. I'm really excited. Today, I was really guided to pull another oracle card. So what I'm going to do, we're going to start off like that, just as we do with these podcasts now. The last one, I really enjoyed that, you guys. So I really enjoyed that format of just sort of opening up the dialogue to my spirit guides, just to allow in the messages that will steer this podcast in the way that it is meant to. You see, everything operates with intention here in this universe. So I utilize that here in this podcast to sort of leverage the best possible things that we can actually be a vibrational match to receiving right now. So when I talk about vibrational match to receiving, of course I'm talking about law of attraction here. If we set really powerful intentions, the universe will respond to that intention. Thoughts represent frequencies. So when you think a thought, you are actually signaling a very strong, well, it depends how strong the frequency is, depending on how strong your thought is. So if you think a thought long enough, you generate enough sort of momentum with thinking that thought that it develops into a stronger vibrational signal that the universe responds to. Now, again, we can use this to our advantage. If we set really powerful intentional lives, if we set intentions in everything that we do, we can actually have a free will choice in sort of the direction that our lives are going in. Of course, there are elements of our lives that we can't fully realistically control every element. That's not what the human experience is. We come here to get messy so that we can learn our lessons. And it really does, there's so many different diverse creative ways that we can learn our spiritual lessons here on this planet, so we wouldn't want to take that away. So we are actually using a deck that is online, and I talked about this in the last podcast as well. Remember, the universe is taking advantage of everything in our environment to get across the exact specific message that we need to hear. Okay? So we might not even know that we need to hear that message, but if we set the intention for that, we're going to receive that. But sometimes we have resistance because, again, we might be looking to hear a very specific thing. Maybe we want to be validated from our guides for something that we've been thinking before. And, sometimes the messages come through in disguise, right? Synchronicity. When we ask for, guidance from our spirit guides, or we ask for clear messages from our spirit guides, they're going to communicate through your environment first. If you haven't really developed a really clear sense of perception of them yet, where you can clearly see them and interact with them in that sort of way, they're going to come through, while you're driving on a billboard sign that you come across on the highway, or a song that comes on the radio, so like a series of like 5 words, that one line that really speaks to you, that is just so incredibly synchronistic. Remember, I want to talk about this today. Actually, my guides are pointing to this, so we're going to do this before we actually talk about the oracle cards. Okay, so I haven't picked a card yet, but we're talking about synchronicity right now, and I think this is a really great option because I haven't heard enough people talk about synchronicity in this sort of way. So synchronicity, right? We sort of understand it in the New Age community as this sort of thing that, when I first started thinking about synchronicity, what I thought it was when you look at the clock and you see 11:11 every single time, or you always see 3:33, or a certain succession of numbers that, it just always seems like that is on the clock. But we recognize that in the New Age community, as something that is, a good sign. We're seeing synchronicity, evidence of law of attraction. This is great. However, what it actually means, synchronicity, what does that mean? It means we are in sync with the universe. Okay, the universe is a constant stream. It's a constant flow of positive energy, of well-being, of abundance, of light, of bliss. That is the natural flow of source energy. If you think of God energy, source energy, it is constant, positive, flowing energy, bliss energy, joy energy, any frequency that represents that high of a frequency, right? So when we talk about being in sync with the universe. We are in sync with that flow of energy. So what happens when we are in sync with the flow of everlasting flowing of abundance and joy and elation and freedom? We also adopt those traits in our lives as well. It aligns us as well. When we become in sync and in alignment with the universe, we become in sync and aligned with ourselves. Why? Because we are extensions of the universe, right? We are interconnected with the universe. So the idea is to be in coherence with the universe. And this is where we get really everything that we've ever wanted, you know? Abraham Hicks talks about this all the time, every time. They talk about synchronicity and about in the beginning of your life, this is when we sort of create all of the things that will eventually catch up with us in our lives, right? And this is through contrast. So when we have experiences of contrast or unwanted experiences, right? Experiences that cause us to feel pain or trauma early on, that imprints on our psyche in such a way that it causes us to have really, really strong desires for something else. And based on that, we are actually creating a blueprint in our consciousness that we will subconsciously be following throughout the course of our lives. But what this is also, in reference to as well, is the blueprint of your soul. So we're talking about the soul now. This is a more metaphysical conversation. You can understand it from a very scientific, psychological perspective, as well as a metaphysical perspective. When we talk about the soul, we talk about a blueprint, right? A blueprint coming into this world with a specific frequency, a specific resonance, a specific personality trait, a specific, inkling, or tendency towards certain likes or dislikes or preferences. Our psyche our psyche does have an influence on that, right? It is the nature versus nurture concept, right? There is genetic influence, there is influences on our environment that imprint our brains in very specific ways that shape our lives, but there is also the call of the soul. We forget about this. This is the thing, this is like the human spirit, right? This is the thing that really, when you hear about people who've been through the worst of the worst in their lives, you think, how did they survive it? Well, it is because of that force, that unseen force within you, that is connected to the universe, that is connected to source, that is connected to God, that is connected to the divine, that is always fueling you and trying to keep you in coherence with your soul so that you are in alignment with your truth and everything that the world has in store for you. So this is a really powerful sort of opening concept that we are talking about here. So we talked about in the last episode how, law of attraction is going to be a theme that's going to sort of be laced throughout this podcast, because it really is the most powerful feature in this universe. It is the governing engine of the universe. And understanding the workings of energy in this world, in the universe, it can help you really have a basis understanding of really executing anything that you want in your life. Any task, any goal can be assisted through an understanding of law of attraction. And there have been so many incredible teachers of this mysterious art of the law of attraction, with different words being used to describe it as well, different terms. Not all of us even call it law of attraction, to be honest. Some of us, throughout history, we've called it so many different things. Some people call it God, some people call it the divine, some people call it universe, some people call it miracles, but it is some sort of strange tool that some level of our consciousness knows that the world is responding to. And when you can sort of crack the code, you can actually align with some incredible things in your life. And that is what true awakening is. True awakening is really becoming aware that you are the creator of your own reality. So here we go, guys. We're going to actually begin this oracle reading now, in case unless the guides have another message that they'd like to share. So I'm just setting the intention that we receive, the messages that are in the highest good of all. So I'm being guided to a couple decks, actually, but the first one that called out to me is this particular deck. It's by Diana Cooper. It's called Atlantis Cards. So we're going to pick a card and we're going to see what Spirit has in store. Okay, perfect. So we picked Black Mage. Black Mage. Okay, the mage were highly trained shamans, alchemists, and magicians with truly awesome powers. During the Golden Age, they used these skills for the benefits of all that were greatly revered. When the mages decided to use their power for their own enrichment and ego, their frequency of Atlantis spiraled down. Everything on Earth has a natural cycle. The Golden Age was the pinnacle of light, followed by eons of darkness. Now it is time to rise once again to a higher frequency. The change in this card says the card indicates the end of a cycle. In this plane of duality, situations and relationships inevitably end, making room for different experiences. It is time to watch your ego and purify yourself so that the new can be better than the old. Perfect. Well, that's pretty self-explanatory. Cycle, rebirth. So I'm opening up the messages again to the guys just to see if they have anything else that they'd like to offer. This is a really self-explanatory message here. So I'm just going to ask them. So if you see me here, I have my notebook. So you'll see me jotting things down. What I'm doing is automatic writing. So this is a form of channeling. You'll see me throughout this podcast. I'm in a semi-conscious trance. I'm having a conversation with you while there's another aspect of my consciousness that's actually writing things down, jotting things down, putting little bits down that my guides are having me become aware of. And sometimes the messages come through so fleeting that I have to write these little bits down and come back to it later. And sometimes I don't even realize I'm writing it down, and I just see it right on the page exactly what I need to say. Here we go, guys. So this is a really different message. This is a beautiful message, but it can be weighted in a way, what they're showing me, okay? Because they're telling me that you guys are on the precipice of a lot of change, okay? And that sounds wonderful, right? I mean, so many of us are looking for change. Now, I just want to caution you just a bit in this, because in the process of such a radical change, we're talking about change, and think about an image of a roller coaster that is climbing, and reaching the precipice of something. Once it reaches the height of that hill, it is going to start accelerating really, really quickly downhill. So change is amazing, but there's a cautionary tale here, because when there is great change met with great resistance, there is great struggle. So you really, really have to be in flow with these different shifts and changes that are coming into your life. Otherwise, you are going to feel manhandled. It is going to shake you up so much. I have to caution you in that way, because they're making me aware of that. I don't, usually, if you guys follow my stuff like on YouTube or other videos or content online or on Facebook, I'll talk about change a lot, but I don't always talk about it in this specific tone, and it's because they're making me talk about it like this. Because there are a number of you that they are letting me know that they want you to know, and they're taking this advantage through me as a vessel to make you aware of the different turbulent cycles and things that get uprooted once we make this sort of commitment to change. And you've already done that, so you're already sort of along the path they're making me aware. If you're watching this and you're listening to this, you've already sort of made some sort of commitment to yourself in this way. So you will be expecting change, I will tell you that, but you really want to release resistance in this way, okay? You want to have the tools. I had a friend of mine send me, a video, or like, one of those memes, like those like visual, like comedy things, like TikToks, I think they call them now. I don't know if it was a TikTok, but it was like a video similar to those. And they were talking, it was a video of a guy, and he's like really excited about a spiritual journey, a healing journey. I'm so excited, I'm starting my healing journey today. And then cut to right after that, everything is being unearthed, right? All of our shadows, all of our, trauma, everything is being unrooted to meet the light. Because what do we do with our shadows? We have to illuminate it with the light of our consciousness in order for us to become whole again. Otherwise, we are shades of ourselves. We are fractured little aspects of ourselves, just trying to make our way in this world when we don't even have our limbs or our legs with us, trying to navigate this world without, the tools to do it, without our entire being, our energy supporting us in that process is an extremely difficult effort. Okay, so that's a message here that they want to share. So we're going to pull another card, actually. So that's what I'm being guided to do. Okay. And I'm going to see if we're being guided to any different decks here. And we will see. So I am being called to the Archangel Animal Oracle card deck by Daniel Cooper. And the card that we chose today is the Camel. Be patient. Okay. Be forbearing and be patient. Okay, that's interesting. Perfect. Okay, so I'm just opening up the message now. I'm just going to see what my guides have to say about this. So they're talking about the healing journey. They're talking about the healing journey and how it is going. The healing journey is not a short one. The healing journey is going to be a long one. The healing journey does not just end the same day you declare that you want to start your healing journey. There is a process, right? There's a lot of unfolding. There are a lot of years. There's a lot of work that you'll have to put into this, and you really, really want to position yourself in a way in your life where you have the adequate support again and the tools to get through that period, because there will be moments that will be a little bit more difficult. And you want to ask yourself this in those really difficult, challenging moments, particularly for those of you who are in a dark night of the soul or something of that. You want to ask yourself, if this was the rest of my life, if I was supposed to feel this way for the rest of myself, what is one thing that will make me feel more capable getting through this? What's one thing that will make me feel a little bit better if I were to feel this way for the rest of my life? When you can answer that question, you will make that your duty to find that person or that thing or whatever you need in order to pass that time, because that is what will help you get through that, because that is not just a time that is meant to torture you. It is meant to illuminate you. Okay? Our pain is not just here to hurt us. Our pain is here to awaken us and heal us and make us whole. Your pain has the potential to crack you open, right? And invite new perspectives and awareness that have the potential to shift your lives in all the ways that you've actually been asking for, that you've been wanting for all this time. You don't realize, again, these creative ways that the universe is positioning you to achieve your dreams or whatever you want, Sometimes we want really big things for ourselves, but if you think about it logically, it's like, how is that thing going to enter? Well, the universe says, I agree. So let's position you, let's make you more eligible for this to enter your life. And how we do that is by positioning you vibrationally. It's by configuring your energy. It's by inviting energies that help you adopt a frequency that helps you become a vibrational match to that which you want in your life, whether it's a person or a thing, a dream, an experience, an opportunity, whatever that might be, okay? So we also talked about, making sure that we understand the adequate tools that we need for this healing journey. So I shared this the other day on my Facebook. So if you want to see the actual link, there's a book by Peter A. Levine, one of the most amazing people in the field of trauma that you will ever find. He has a book called Waking the Tiger, Healing Trauma. I recommend this book to any person who is beginning this journey right now. If you just think it's a spiritual awakening journey, I would recommend this book as well for you, because what they don't tell you about spiritual awakening is it's a journey about healing trauma as well. It's a journey about uncovering trauma and knowing how to manage it and how to deal with it and having the tools and understand. And when we have an understanding of trauma in the brain in this way, that Peter so eloquently and beautifully and gracefully and conversationally describes and articulates in this book, it really does become our greatest asset and our greatest tool in becoming who we are and healing our trauma and activating our spiritual livelihood. This book is incredible. If you are even beginning therapy, I would recommend bringing this book with you to therapy or to any practitioner that you want to work with in any sort of therapy-like setting. You can tell them about this person, Peter A. Levine. If they are aware, then you are in good hands, okay? So know this. I want to give people practical tools. A lot of people want to start therapy and they're like, but I don't know if I'm going to find the right person. If they know this book, they are a good person for you, okay? And remember, when you're starting therapy as well, you really want to find the right person. A lot of people just give up on therapy because they had a bad match in the beginning. It's like you want to literally interview them, interview for the right match for you. And when you find the one that literally makes it just so easy to just be in their presence and for everything to come out, you've reached the right person, okay? So this is, a really important thing here, therapy. I've been working in the field of trauma healing for several years now, and I really think this is the one piece in the New Age community that we really all collectively need to decide is a key component of the New Age community and New Age content. We're really in the early stages of this whole New Age movement, if you really think about it. There's not a lot of information out there. And out of a lot of information, there are so many books and stuff out there, but nothing like that is completely verifiable or legitimized, or there's nothing that is, you will find so many incredible gems out there, but you will not know where the gems are because there's no one really legitimizing the information. There's no president of the New Age world, that is like, this is the official book, and that's okay because this is how law of attraction works, right? Law of attraction knows your frequency and knows what pieces of information will awaken the potential of your soul as well. Okay, guys? So I think that's what we have for today. What a wonderful, another beautiful session that we had here today. I'm so excited to continue doing these. So again, if you guys have any questions any questions that you have in the future for other videos, if you want me to channel the guides, just seeing what sort of information they have about various different topics or understandings or issues that you have in your personal lives that we can sort of expand into a broader context for everybody else's understanding, feel free to leave those comments on the Patreon comments, as well as on Facebook. I have a comment section. YouTube, there's comments as well. So I'll just be searching through all of those, just to gather maybe directions for future podcast ideas, topics that would be of interest. So this is going to be just so much fun, you guys. Thank you again for participating in this. Please subscribe here on YouTube, as well as if you're listening audibly on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Anchor as well, I'm on. Please follow me on there as well. Share this if you feel guided. We have so many other really great episodes. So, one episode is on live channeling of my. I think that the title of that particular episode is called Live Channeling, where I'm channeling a lot of information about um, just the body and about how we can nourish ourselves and the different foods that our bodies and our chakras respond to. That can be of our greatest use. And then we have some other podcasts with really other concepts that really blend closely to the subjects here we talk about as well. So thank you guys again for participating. Much love to you all. And I will see you guys next time. So grateful. Sending you all so many blessings and so much positive energy. Take care, guys. Bye now.